Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Wednesday, October the 8th. We have 4 games tonight in the National Hockey League. I previewed those yesterday in the 3-day preview posted to the channel. So starting off at the top of the board, the reason why I'm wearing a Winnipeg Jets jersey, and it's a Kyle Connor jersey as well. Kyle Connor's not going anywhere. So they lost Ehlers during the summer. People were like, that's it. Guys don't want to play in Winnipeg, forgetting that Scheifele signed long-term, Labanc signed long-term, and now Kyle Connor signs long-term. So maybe they do. Connor signs an 8-year extension. The cap hit a very reasonable $12 million, which sounds weird, but that's the new reality with the salary cap going where it's going. And it looks like Kaprizov's going to remain the richest player for at least for now. May very well be for the next couple of years. He may have the highest cap hit in the National Hockey League. But Connor signing an extension with Winnipeg is great. I think that the idea that players don't want to sign in Winnipeg, don't want to play in Winnipeg, I think it's been overblown. I think the fact that Taves decided he wanted to play there, that was always the discussion if he was coming back to the NHL. I think it's great. I would love to see Winnipeg go on a long run in the playoffs, and at the very least, they've got their core basically locked up. Morrissey's one, too, that signed a long-term extension, and I remember before he signed that, there was, he's not going to want to stay. And there's always that discussion, these guys aren't going to want to stay in Winnipeg, and yet they do. Connor's extension, I think, is perfectly reasonable. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. No, Connor McDavid's $12.5 million is below market value. Absolutely. So you can't compare Kyle Connor's to McDavid's, and we're going to be talking about a lot of guys probably getting money around the same as McDavid, and it's going to be weird. Easton Cowan is a healthy scratch tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs in their season opener. I don't think he's going to be a scratch for long. I think probably maybe just the first game, and then you figure out who you're going to pull out of the lineup to put Cowan in. Obviously, the Toronto Maple Leafs know what they have with Cowan, and they don't want to rush him into the lineup. And sometimes this works out really well, having a guy a healthy scratch to start the season. Although, that does lead into the next item on the board. Chinakhov, during the summer, wanted out of Columbus. He has since kind of relented on that, although I haven't seen an official statement saying he has rescinded his trade request. But he has talked to Dean Evason, and it seems like they've got a better relationship. And this is what's going to test that. Chinakhov is going to be a healthy scratch tomorrow for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Evason does say that he talked to Yegor Chinakhov towards the end of the preseason and that they're on the same page. So as long as that's the case, shouldn't be anything to see here, but it is something to keep an eye on, because if Chinakhov is a healthy scratch for, say, 4, 5, however many games, that's where Chinakhov may come out and say, look, if they're not going to use me, then I'd rather play somewhere else, which is reasonable. I think that's fair. So, and I don't see that as an example of, nobody wants to play in Columbus, because I know I've heard that argument as well, even though lots of players sign long-term extensions there as well. So we'll keep an eye on this, but it sounds like right now, Evason and Chinakhov on the same page, but that is definitely something to monitor in the coming days and weeks. Matthias Ekholm, the latest Edmonton Oiler to get signed to an extension. It's a 3-year extension, $4 million cap hit. He's in his mid-30s, so this may very well be the final contract of his career. I think that's a very reasonable cap hit for Matthias Ekholm. So while people were saying the Wallman extension came in with a cap hit that's a bit too high, and the term might be a bit high, I'm not going to argue with that either. I was really surprised by the Wallman contract, to be honest. But the Ekholm contract, I think that's reasonable. So Stan Bowman's job that he's doing with the Oilers, at some point I'll do a video where we talk about the Oilers contracts going forward. And there may be another contract extension coming in. There's word that a Kulak extension may be coming in next. So you just sign and keep everybody. That can be dangerous too, though. There are times where it's okay to let guys go to market. It's okay to let guys go. And I do think sometimes with GMs that they get out ahead of themselves, and especially when you're talking about depth players, and by which I mean like bottom 6 forwards, bottom 2 defensemen, you're signing these guys for long-term deals. It can bite you, but we'll see what happens and what Kulak's extension looks like should he sign that extension in the coming days with the Oilers. Kevin Labanc has signed in the KHL, so his tryout did not lead to a contract. A lot of tryouts did this year. I did see somebody ask, too, when I said that Rooney was an example of a PTO success. Rooney's PTO was in New Jersey and he signed in Utah, but that means that Utah would have been monitoring what he was doing in New Jersey. So without that tryout in New Jersey, there is the chance that Rooney would not have got that contract from Utah. So it is not strange to see a guy have a PTO in one place and actually get a contract somewhere else. So, yeah. The Vegas Golden Knights. Speaking of extensions, it looks like Eichel could be extended today. So remember back in July when everybody said, this UFA class for 2025 sucks. Next year's UFA class is going to be better. McDavid's off. Connor's off. Eichel's about to be off. No. So they're working to extend Eichel. It could get done today. Last night, Emily Kaplan saying they want to get it done before the opener. It looks like it's going to be an 8-year deal for Eichel, so this will just take him off the market altogether. Jack Eichel's been very happy in Las Vegas. They won the Stanley Cup in 2023. He obviously would like to win another. So I don't expect Eichel's contract to be really, really high in terms of the overall cap hit, but I do think it'll be above that $12.5 million that the McDavid took, and I think it'll be well above the $12 million Kyle Connor's getting. But we'll see. We'll see what that ends up looking like. And Vegas has done a pretty good job. Sometimes they're a bit of a ruthless job when it comes to dealing with contracts and players, but it's worked. I mean, when the success is there, you can't really get too mad at it. No, it's hockey. People will still get really mad at it. Anyways, so we'll see what that Eichel deal looks like if it does get signed today. And of course, I could do another news video later if that is in fact the case. Nathan MacKinnon last night passed Joe Sakic for the most points as an Avalanche player. So with Colorado Avalanche. Now, if you factor in Quebec Nordique's points along with Colorado points, he's still got a ways to go. But if you're just looking at the points in Colorado, MacKinnon has passed Sakic for the number 1 spot. And so, yeah, congratulations to Nathan MacKinnon, a player who a decade ago was, still trying to find his way, and then all of a sudden it just clicked. And once it clicked, he became one of the best players in the National Hockey League, so good on him. Brunick last night for Pittsburgh became the second South African-born player to play in the National Hockey League, and the first who is a skater, because the first South African-born player in the NHL was Olaf Kolzig. And much like Kolzig, Brunick plays for Canada internationally. So, nice storyline there. And, he looked good. I thought both rookies looked pretty good for Pittsburgh last night. There's definitely a little bit of a different energy with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They might be an interesting one to keep an eye on this year. The Kings, of course, last night revealed their new thirds. I can't think of the last time I saw that, where a team just comes out wearing a jersey they haven't done a big press reveal for. I think it's great. I thought it was great that the team store was all ready to go with them. They look absolutely fantastic. As I said in the review last night, I honestly think that if they had that crown design for their home and away, I would prefer that over the design that they went to for their home and away last season. But this one right here, being the one, of course, that's their current logo. I prefer the crown over that. And it is the same crown that's very tiny in there. Which they use on that third, but I think it's excellent. That is an excellent jersey. So, the LA Kings have a very strong history when it comes to jerseys with this guy, so this is another good example. Carolina Hurricanes. So there were defensemen who didn't play during the preseason. Rod Brindamore saying today they are all good to go. That is Keandre Miller, it's Jacob Slavin, and Jalen Chatfield. All good to go. Set for the season debut tomorrow. And so Carolina's healthy. And we'll see how far things go. Yesterday when I said teams are mostly healthy, and then there was a comment of, and then Mackenzie Blackwood's mentioned next. That's why I said mostly healthy. So there you go. Because you're never going to have a point where teams are completely healthy. Even during the offseason, there's guys recovering from surgery and guys getting hurt out, water skiing and whatever. So, but there you go. The Boston Bruins have named 3 alternate captains this year. They will not have an actual team captain. We knew that during the summer. Pastrnak, McAvoy, and Elias Lindholm getting the A's with the team. Yeah, it was Elias, right? Not Hampus. Yeah, Elias Lindholm. So those are your alternate captains. My guess is Pasternak's going to be the next captain for the team, although it could easily be McAvoy as well. So these are the guys of the now and of the future. So, and I understand them going without a captain this year. They went from Chara to Bergeron to Marchand. It makes sense to go without a captain, especially when the expectations for the Bruins aren't really that high this year anyways. and it gives you a good idea for who the next leader should be in this first full season without Marchand. The Minnesota Wild, who are always dealing with some sort of injury issues. Brodin at practice in a regular jersey, but he is doubtful for tomorrow. So I saw one report saying he's not ruled out. He's not likely. So it's possible, but it does seem like it's very unlikely that Brodin's going to play for Minnesota. The good news being, it looks like he's not going to be out for that long. So he's not going to miss that many games at the start of the season. Whereas Nico Sturm is out long term. No word on exactly the time frame, but John Hines saying that the expectations are he'll be out for a while. So we'll see how many games he misses for the Minnesota Wild. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.